Times front page for Monday, May 8th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The Biden administration's green energy goals have resulted in an array of new efficiency rules for a slew of household appliances. Susan Ferricchio reports the effort is forcing manufacturers to produce more costly products that they say reverse innovation and potentially eliminate thousands of domestic jobs. Administration officials are touting the rules as part of a goal to take 100 actions to strengthen energy efficiency standards to lower costs for American families. Industry leaders say the rules come with steep upfront costs for consumers and negatively impact performance. Manufacturers also say it's overwhelming them with higher production costs and, in some cases, difficulty in meeting the standards. An Inspector General's report found that the U.S. Border Patrol would increase staff and bus migrants away ahead of dignitary visits to the southern U.S. border with Mexico. Stephen Dinan reports the reality was that agents were overwhelmed, overworked, and frustrated with the chaos, according to the report. It says that Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement are stretched to their breaking points. The audit was released as the Department of Homeland Security prepares for the end of Title 42, the pandemic-era policy that allowed agents to expel immigrants who entered the country illegally. The leaders of Japan and South Korea met for a summit on Sunday, extending the amity established in a meeting last month and boosting U.S. hopes of greater security cooperation with two critical allies. Andrew Salmon reports in the meeting, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida expressed sympathy for the suffering of Korean forced laborers during Japan's colonial rule of the peninsula. He also offered South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol a concession, giving South Korean experts access to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, which was heavily damaged by an earthquake and tsunami in 2011. Lack of transparency over Japan's planned release of irradiated water stored at the facility has angered South Koreans for years. Sunday's visit, the first by a Japanese prime minister to South Korea since 2018, is being hailed as a return to long-stalled diplomacy between the Asian nations. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Potential 2024 presidential rival Chris Christie has attacked Donald Trump's record as president in unusually stark terms, opening the door to closer scrutiny of Trump's wins and losses on the policy front. Seth MacLachlan and Tom Howe report Christie says Trump doesn't want to attend primary debates because he can't defend his record in deterring rogue actors such as Russian President Vladimir Putin. Corners of the Republican Party are starting to revisit Trump's performance in the White House, including criticism of the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic and his bipartisan criminal justice reform efforts that are considered to be soft on crime. And finally, universities are expanding their optional graduation events focused on participants' identities, including race, ethnicity, and sexual orientation. Sean Sela reports Georgetown, Oklahoma, North Carolina State, and Illinois State are among the growing number of colleges holding special ceremonies in the upcoming weeks as the academic year winds down. Diversity advocates promote the ceremonies as affinity groups that create safe spaces for marginalized students to celebrate their achievements. Critics say the events divide campuses by excluding others. An Oklahoma spokesperson noted that all students on its campus are welcome to attend each smaller and unique celebration of minority graduates as part of year-long multicultural programming on campus. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.